Thank you, Elise, and thank you everyone for joining this short webinar presentation. We're happy to have you here to talk a little bit more about the Delaware Equitable Hiring Initiative. My name is Kaz Walcott, Director of Inclusive Hiring here at the Responsible Business Initiative for Justice, also known as RBIJ. And I'm going to hand you over to my co-worker, Kaya, who's going to get us kicked off today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'll start off with talking a little bit about about our organization. And Kaz, I'm sorry, am I able to control the slides? Or sure. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Thank you. So yes, a little bit about the Responsible Business Initiative for Justice, long name, but in short, we work within three buckets. The first is reforming justice systems, and we work with businesses to use their voice and their platforms to help leverage criminal justice reform initiatives in partnership with local leaders. So oftentimes there are businesses that are already doing amazing work, and so we work with them to kind of amplify their voices and hopefully to get other businesses to follow along. The other bucket is restoring communities. And so we work with businesses to ensure that systemic change is translated into actual impact for justice involved individuals. We know that there are some individuals who are formerly incarcerated and would like to get back into work. And we want to make sure that there are very little barriers to them as they go through that process. And the last bucket is reframing narratives. And so we work to kind of reframe some of the narratives surrounding some of these communities or justice impacted individuals. And next slide, please. So on this project that we're working on, which is the Delaware Equitable Hiring Initiative, these are some of the key players involved in this particular project. As I mentioned, Responsible Business Initiative for Justice, we are serving as the project manager and hiring consultant. We're also working with some local community-based organizations as well. And so those are the Delaware Family Restoration Services. They are serving as our credible messengers. So they are actually going out into the community and doing surveys with the community members that will kind of give us some more insight so that when we do reach out in terms of training and businesses, we are including the community's voice. And so they're one of the key players, in addition to Dubart Enterprise. They are another credible messenger, and they are another community-based organization in Delaware. And then we're also partnering with the CAR Collective, and they are our talent and development consultant. They're the ones that are going to be doing the training, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But their mission is to build an inclusive economy by developing employment pathways to advance transformative individuals and community success. And you'll see how they kind of fall in line with this as we go through the presentation. Next slide. And so workforce challenges. Why Wilmington? Why this initiative? We recognize that Wilmington is home to a large and growing number of people who are unemployed or underemployed. And at the same time, we know that there's a large labor shortage going on in Delaware as well, with only 63 workers available for every 100 jobs. And so these hidden workers are a group that we would like to tap into. We know that they encompass a diverse group of caregivers, veterans, immigrants, justice impacted populations, maybe older workers, and more. But oftentimes what we see is that these job seekers are getting screened out in the application process due to outdated systems or them having a lack of traditional qualifications, representing an untapped talent. And we want to try to figure out how we can connect these individuals with meaningful employment opportunities where they can advance and advance. Next slide, please. And so this pilot, the Delaware Equitable Hiring Initiative, is focused on 3 zip codes in Wilmington: 19801, 19802, and 19805. And this pilot is projected to equip Delaware employers with tools to access a more effective and equitable pipeline of qualified hidden talent from Wilmington's overlooked communities. And so RBIJ and our community partners will help employers identify and mitigate barriers to hiring candidates of diverse backgrounds and experiences in those specific zip codes. And this is what we believe addressing the future of work will look like by demonstrating and promoting scaled equitable hiring and building a network of local employers who are just as committed to equitable hiring practices. We can enhance the workforce program capacity and essentially employ a talent pipeline into future-proof, family-sustaining careers.
Thank you, Kaya.
Sure.
So in terms of the employer profile, what we are seeking is up to 10 companies that are open to looking at their hiring practices. Now, we do know that there's companies that exist within Delaware, particularly within the city of Wilmington, that are further along when it comes to equitable hiring. There's also businesses in Wilmington that are open to looking at their hiring and their recruitment practices. And as part of this project, we are partnering with an organization called Jobs for the Future. And Jobs for the Future will provide an intake process, an assessment process for these businesses that we sign on to the initiative and work with them to look at their hiring practices, what they're doing well, what they would like to improve on, any questions they have when it comes to hiring individuals within the Delaware region, state of Delaware, and will provide a customized training for these employers that will take them to the next level and assist them when it comes to hiring on individuals within the Wilmington zip codes that we highlighted. And the goal is to really improve and strengthen the recruitment practices and systems that current employers have. So we're looking to fill up to 50 roles within these different companies. You'll hear a little later on that so far we have 2 companies, large organizations that have signed on for the initiative. And we're in talks with around 5 other companies that are really interested in being part of this pilot project. So we're asking you all as well to think about companies or yourselves who would like to be part of this initiative and hire individuals from these zip codes. Sorry, having some issues here with my... In terms of the impact on talent, as Kai had mentioned, we're looking to train some of the Wilmingtonians that are interested in being part of this pilot project. Our credible messengers who are doing a fantastic job of surveying a number of Wilmingtonian residents and finding out what their needs are when it comes to employment, what sort of skills shortage they have, what types of trainings they are interested, what type of employment they've held in the past. We'll be working with a training provider to upskill some of the Wilmingtonians that are part of this particular initiative. And it's important for us at this stage of the pilot project to have the community voice involved. And that's the reason why our credible messengers who are really embedded in the Wilmington community, the Delaware community, and trusted members of the community have surveyed individuals that live in those particular zip codes so that we include their voice from the beginning of this initiative. So we're looking for up to 50 individuals that we will hire as part of this project. And as we mentioned, this is actually a pilot project, although the goal is for this project to continue past this pilot phase and live within the Wilmington state of Delaware. We really want this to become part of a community initiative. And that's why it's important for us to have individuals on the ground who know the Wilmington community that partner with us on this particular initiative. And then thinking about the impact on the community. The Wilmingtonians that actually go through training will be a thriving workforce in Wilmington. Businesses will have the opportunity to hire from this hidden talent pool. There's a number of different initiatives and revitalization projects that are happening within the Wilmington region. And we just want to be able to help businesses prepare to take on a trained workforce. We have the port project that's happening. We have some other industrial projects that are happening within Wilmington region. And this initiative will help serve the businesses that are actually looking for talent to expand on the work that they're doing, and also provide a trained workforce, a trained and skilled workforce. And then in terms of the impact on the community, as an organisation, we've been meeting with various stakeholders. We've met with different philanthropic organisation and government agencies. And the goal is for us to really build their trust and get to know them, and for us to learn from them about what the needs are for the Wilmington community. And we will also be able to provide data from this project. We've enlisted an evaluation partner on this particular initiative, and we will be collecting data, which we will share out once the project has come to the end of the pilot. We'll be able to share this information widely and also think about how this project continues within the city of Wilmington and the wider Delaware region. So far, as we had mentioned, we have 2 organisations that have signed up for this particular initiative: the Delaware Transit Corporation and the Delaware Department of Human Resources, 2 of the biggest employers within the state of Delaware. And we also have several other employers that are interested in being part of this initiative. We've engaged over 180 businesses through sharing information, conversations about this initiative. So we're hoping that within this pilot phase and beyond, as businesses begin to join, other businesses come on board and they see the benefit for their business model. We also had mentioned earlier that we've conducted community surveys. Delaware Family Restoration Services and Dubar Enterprises, they've conducted surveys within the Wilmington region. And we'll also be able to share information with the wider community about those findings. And we have a subject matter expert on board who's mapping out 4 community-based organisations that will help to source the talent for this particular initiative. So these community-based organisations will be organisations within the Wilmington, the state of Wilmington, and they will source a talent pool of individuals that will apply for positions with the various companies that signed on for this particular initiative. And then in terms of employer support resources, I mentioned earlier that we've partnered with an organisation called Jobs for the Future. And shortly we'll be sending out a survey to the 2 businesses that have signed on for the initiative. We'll also be undertaking assessments towards the end of this month, assessments and intakes. And that's really to delve a little deeper with these 2 businesses and other businesses that come on board within the next few months, just to find out what their hiring practices currently are, any areas where they would require support, things that they're doing really well. And then our partner at JFF will design a customized training program for these businesses. There'll be opportunity for peer-to-peer support amongst the businesses, some in-person training and also virtual training that will help prepare them for the recruitment phase of this project, which happens in 2025. And then we'd mentioned earlier that there's 4 CBOs, 4 community-based organisations within the Wilmington region that will be signing on for this particular initiative, and they will source a talent pool of individuals that apply for positions with these different companies. And we're actually partnering with an organisation called Cara Collective, and Cara Collective will be providing training to these different organisations. So the Cara Collective have a model of workforce development that works with community-based organisations to train them to support individuals that apply for employment, how to help them retain employment, how to help them speak with employers and build relationships with employers. So that training will happen in 2025. So we're excited about our partnership with them. And then we also did some industry mapping at the beginning of this project. We completed comprehensive industry mapping of the key industries within Delaware and the growth industries as well. So we're looking to train some of the Wilmingtonians so that they're prepared to go into these industries. For example, hospitality, construction, healthcare, and also manufacturing. So at this time, we'd love to hear from you if you have any questions about this particular initiative. We launched the initiative formally at the end of September, and we actually have a website, the link which we can share with you after this event. We'd love for you to visit our website and also to download any information that you would like to have about this particular project. And right now, we'd love to hear from you if you have any questions. We can also meet with you individually to see what your individual needs are when it comes to this particular initiative and answer any customized questions you might have.
Because I'm not sure if you have the ability to look at the Q&A, but we do have someone who is just interested in partnering, and everyone does have your contact information and will follow up with one-on-one. I think that's probably the best way to address that partnership opportunity.
Yeah, the Q&A isn't showing on my end, Elise.
I
No
can
worries.
see it, so I can respond.
Right.
Thank you.
Someone's asking if they're still kind of starting out and pretty small, if they're still interested in, if you'd be still open to partnering.
Yeah, absolutely. The initiative is going to actually kick off early 2025. So I think that would be fine. And we'll be accepting businesses throughout. There's not an exact cutoff time. So I can certainly send you our information and we'd be happy to set up a call to talk further.
I do notice it. Sarah, you have your hand up. I'm gonna unmute you if you'd like to further explain or chat. Okay. Well, you guys can hopefully connect after.
Sure. My contact information is here on the screen, so feel free to email me directly and I can reach out to you and we can set up a time to chat. Either Kaya or I can set up a time to chat.
I will actually be sharing this recording as well as the presenter's information, so everyone on this call will be able to have a direct line to them.
Elise, I think another question has come through. I can see 3, but I can't access the questions.
It's just regarding Sarah's interest in participating. Okay. Any final questions, either using the Q&A feature, you're using the chat, or I'm happy to unmute someone or allow someone to talk to share their thoughts verbally. Okay, so with that, I'm going to stop the recording.